Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the George.Daniel Podcast. I am your host, George.Daniel. And before we get to our lovely guests, I do want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Liquid Death. You can get them at www.liquiddeath.com or at your local convenience store. Let's check in with Matt. How we doing?
Chilling, man. Chilling.
Little BTS. We just released the solo app, and that was fun.
Today? Yeah, that was sick.
So that was a good time, and I was like really sick to do something like that without a guest. But speaking of our guest, we do have a lovely guest. I've seen him everywhere. Anthony Zmoda, how we doing?
I'm doing great right now. Thank you for having me over.
I know you through It's a Journey and working alongside with Bruja a lot. And give us a little backstory of who you were as a child and then coming into like who you are now.
Yeah, well, I'll skip over the child part because that's never interesting. But we were connected here definitely through San Jose, just having even somebody 17 minutes away that I can come over and hang out with wasn't, exactly how it always was when I first moved to San Jose. But basically, I graduated college from the East Coast. I'm originally from the East Coast and graduated in 2009 and moved out to Colorado and was just basically following my job out to the West Coast. So I work for the same job that I had originally out here in Santa Clara. I've been there for about 13 years now. I've met my wife out here and have a great group of friends out here. And I've been DJing pretty much the whole time once I, kind of picked it up during like when EDM was kind of taking over the entire country. That's around the same time that I was moving away from the East Coast and finding out about all this awesome music, meeting a lot of people. But when I first got to San Jose, after going to a ton of like big festivals like Coachella and Hard Fest and Hard Summer, stuff like that, got the bug to want to throw parties here because when I first got here in like 2011 for my career, that's when I started. There wasn't really much like electronic music parties around, so I had a bunch of friends at like Santa Clara University, and I started by just going to like the Agenda Lounge and trying to throw a party with a bunch of EDM on Tuesday, and I think we got like 130 people to show up.
Hey, that's something though.
Yeah, and I remember with my wife Kaylee and I were just walking downtown, just trying to find a place to like just make a connection. So from the beginning, we were kind of DIY doing it ourselves, and you'd have to fast forward from that part of my, DJ career to get all the way to where the San Jose Techno and House Facebook group was created, and, kind of following in the footsteps of the Bay Area Dirty Birds Facebook group. That's where along the way, Hafid popped in out of nowhere and kind of raised his hand and was saying, hey, I want to, do events. And I was already kind of like spinning my wheels trying to find places to host parties. And when Hafid and I clicked, and I had the sound system and he had the knack for finding the venues, that's when we all kind of started working together. So even though Nina and I, Bruja, actually met like long before that during those like kind of EDM days, we all reunited and joined forces and took all of our experience to do the best we could to like create like a text message list and have some resident DJs and stuff like that. So those 2 or 3 years before the pandemic were like the most successful days that I feel like I've seen here, and it really feels good to be able to give people opportunities locally to come see DJs that they haven't seen in a really long time. So since the pandemic, that's been cooling off a little bit, but that, and when the Bay Area Dirty Bird Facebook group got started, that's when I feel like we were realizing there's other people around that are, into the same music. We just didn't really, at least I didn't as a transplant, like have a way to connect. So once that was going, that was great. And like with the level 44 stuff, it felt like there was a resurgence. And that's really what brought us all together and why I know a lot of people that grew up here now. And, you know, those are the people that I'm usually hanging out with the most in San Jose when I'm not, you know, going to other areas to hang out and party too.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's dope. Where on the East Coast did you grow up?
I'm from Maryland.
Oh, okay, cool. Sorry, I'm just fast fire questions right now, just because there was a lot that I had like I need. Okay,
yeah.
So okay, Maryland. You went to Colorado for college,
or I went to Penn State for college.
Yeah,
and
it was for work.
Yeah. So I lived in Colorado for 2 years right after college on my way.
So you were like what, 26 when you left Colorado?
I must have been 20. If I was 21 when I graduated college, then I was 23.
And then you came to...
Yeah, then I spent 2 years in Colorado, realized that was like... I met a couple really awesome people there.
Right.
Saw like a lot of like dubstep artists come in, you know, to the U.S. for the first time when it was really hot. But California, that's where I actually interned at the summer before my junior year. So... I always wanted to kind of return and rekindle my friendships that I happened to make for those like 6 months that I was out here. Yeah.
And then you were kind of touched based on like two different scenes, right? Mm-hmm. You were saying originally how like you and your bud were fucking like out here doing the work on the groundwork, right?
Yeah, we were flying and everything,
and things were happening. But and then at the same time, you were on the other side. You realized that the internet was also like a good way to connect with everyone, right? Yeah, with all these groups on Facebook and everything, and like I mean, I'm on some of these Facebook groups, but I don't even check my Facebook like that anymore. You know,
you're not kidding. Not a lot of people do.
Right. And it's unfortunate because there's like, where else are you going to have these like these groups, you know, outside of Reddit or like outside of a Discord or something like that, you know, but, or even a Twitch. Like, I feel like the Justin Martin Twitch, like his live series that he was doing, like had a bunch of people from the community there, and it was really cool. And it was like during the pandemic where people can like at least chat with one another.
Yeah, that's always been a challenge. And that's one of the ways that It's a Journey excelled, is that when we first started through our first underground, we collected everyone's phone numbers, which that was something I was missing when I was spinning my wheels for the first time, because like nobody really wants to go in person and flyer. Like if you can sit behind your keyboard and get the message across, like that's
full blast,
but what I saw was happening was those people I was originally promoting to in the like high energy big room house EDM scene were losing interest in that, you know, over time. And after, you know, continuing to go up to the city to party, I started becoming friends with people that, with new people that were kind of more on my, like actual musical journey. So to date, you know, when I do go out and have like an opening set in the city, or if I am booked like here for level 44 or something like that, at any moment there will be like a handful of different friends from each of those different kind of like groups, depending on who's like willing to go out and party with me at any given time.
That's cool.
You know?
That's cool. Like, yeah, I feel like like everyone who saw the Taco Tuesday episode, you kind of saw like that was my moment where it was just like people from like work from years ago to like people who I know now, and to like DJs and like people who were guests and like randoms, you know, and like it was fun. But like that's exactly, I get exactly what you mean by that. And that's super cool because I feel like sometimes like we as we grow, you know, we obviously like just like unfortunately like move past some people in the sense of like just like we stop working with each other,
depends
you
when
know,
you have things in common with them,
and I mean and that, and like it's just like also like circumstance a lot of the times, you know. But that's cool that like you were able to like reconnect with all of them and like still have a good connection with everyone, because like you were saying with the underground shows that you did, I remember going to a couple of them and just being being like, oh shit, like this is San Jose.
Yeah.
You know, like this is San Jose.
Yeah.
Like like, you know, you have the fucking speakers, you have the lights, you have everything, and it was fucking like popping.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, and like I remember seeing like Nina and some of them. You've had like hella people.
Yep.
But when you were doing those underground shows more frequently, what like excited you about it, like to keep you going? Because I feel like, you know, that's a hard thing.
Yeah. So I've continued to find new reasons to keep me producing parties because as I've gone along, I've stopped like overextending myself and only focusing on the things that truly mean a lot to me, which I think is like an objective kind of in every DJ's career. So the fact that I was living here in San Jose for so long, like went through what I would consider is kind of a failure of EDM promotion, then many years of just kind of like DJing myself, like, you know, kind of like formulating my you know, taste in music, going to new events over time, learning about those, and then being able to like reintroduce those values into a community that literally is together because of us is like, so that, you know, that's very easy to get behind that and stay up all night if you need to. So like forging relationships with a new group of individuals who are like amazing, and I love them, and I just like never even met them before, you know, we met on the internet. That's what kept us driven from all the way to our last underground before the pandemic set in, when we had Emanate come down and it had a really raucous ending. You know, that was even our best party to date over those like 3 years. So we feel like, I think we still even left some opportunity on the table, but with those experiences and I upgraded my sound system since then, you know, I'm very comfortable with stage managing and being around artists and making sure they're comfortable and enjoying that they're rocking the hell out of my system. You know, I've had to like give myself little boosts to continue the endurance. Like the system's a whole new world, you know, and I've also steered a little bit, maybe more away from DJing and diving headfirst into production, and always, you know, promoting shows. So yeah, still haven't gotten sick of it yet, because I still have like not hardcore goals or objectives anymore, but I just like sit back and see kind of what comes my way and try my best to get my closest DJ homies as good of gigs as they can possibly get, because we've been in this together for a long time now, and finally through like our camp out and maybe maybe you know, focusing a little bit more on my like immediate network of friends, we're starting to kind of like spring up a little bit more recently too. So to actually have that starting to happen excites me most of all. But you know, I think I would burn out after maybe 3 to 5 years of doing like the same thing, especially when I already have a full-time job and everything like that. Right.
Damn, that's crazy. But you touched base on the festival that you have, and this one may be out the week of the festival, I believe. Right? It's in March.
Oh, so our camp out this year,
camp out.
Is our third one. And it is going to be held the last weekend of July. So
okay. So yeah.
So we have a handful of club events, and we just did kind of like a mixer in January that revolves around the fact that we're getting our camp participants together to kind of just do a one-off party in the city. But yeah, the camp out is yearly. So this is the third iteration of that. It's called My First Rodeo, which means the world to me and all of my closest friends, because we've done 2 years in a row so far in in Mendocino County. I bring my Void rig up. We run it the whole time. We sell the tickets. It's about a 70-person event, and we're all preparing to, meet once a week and make sure everything that we can do to make this event as special as possible happens, throughout the year. So that's already has unlocked so many additional opportunities. Hosting a camp out, if you want to meet a million awesome people and truly, I don't know, do your own take on all the events that you've been, going to in your life. That's one of the most awesome things ever. So we're trying to ensure that we can continue to keep our, camp out kind of still mostly our closest homies. Cause even before this camp out, we were doing an even smaller event called Dreams of a Space Turtle in Half Moon Bay. It was 50 of us. Yeah. It wasn't permitted. It was on, actual group camp land. And we'd still, get our QSCs and our subwoofer going. So originally from the get-go, the camp out has been for my Burning Man crew, and then all of the awesome people that have been coming to hang out with us more and more because they enjoy what we're doing. So My First Rodeo is the name of our camp out. The third one we're doing is My Third First Rodeo. Oh yeah, I think I have a sticker for you somewhere.
Oh yeah.
My from last year was my second first rodeo.
Okay, so you mentioned how you earlier were diving headfirst into full production mode, and being El Capitan on that. But now you have a couple releases on a couple labels. Yes. And I think we have a snippet of a song right now.
Yeah, like you mentioned, I've been I pretty much always convinced myself that producing was too hard and I didn't need it, basically. But then after enough time, you start to just kind of pick it up. So this one I wanted to share with you is a little bit of a clip of something that is unreleased and doesn't have a home or a label. So if you like it, hit me up. Hell yeah. But yeah, this is featuring some vocals from my roommate and one of my best friends, Adrian Augman. We're celebrating his birthday in April. I'll tell you more about that later. But yeah, go ahead and give that a start and let me know what you think.
Yeah, I'm gonna need this one. I'm gonna be at Hawthorne on the 23rd. So
hell yeah, man! That's the spot. verse banger. So you get the build up and then you're like, oh, I'm chill.
Yeah. Dude, dude, this is fucking sick. I need this. But fucking, okay. Couple questions.
Yeah.
How? And also like, how lucky are you to have someone who's a vocalist also? You know what I mean? As a roommate.
I can't wait till he hears that one.
Like, that's it. Like,
Yeah,
dude, hell yeah. I mean, like, we just had Dem 2, and Dem 2, they do all their vocals.
Yeah. Awesome.
And it's just like you either have someone accessible to you
Yeah.
or like you have to do it yourself, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially when like nowadays with clearances and shit like that, you have to.
It's easier to just do it yourself. You're right.
But no, this is a fucking banger. I need this. It's groovy as fuck.
Thanks, man.
I need this for like in the middle of my set where I'm like, I need to regroup a little bit.
Definitely,
like,
man.
Vibe out, see what the crowd is.
Yeah, it's kind of like a safety check right there. You know? Yeah. I try to make the drums kind of like as heavy as possible, but then like what I can't help myself from doing is like going through a little bit of music theory to like prove that I taught myself. So that's how I get like the like melodies to work with each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the so like my roommate and I, we both have, you know, Ableton pushes. We basically have 2 studios in the house and have for a while. But I mean, I just put the mic in, and sometimes like he gets in, and we're fucking around along.
But I mean, that's so
beat.
sick. That's so sick to have someone to like bounce ideas with and like just be creative. Constantly being surrounded by like creativity is good for people.
Absolutely,
you know?
Absolutely.
So that's fucking sick.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. But no, that was a fucking absolute banger.
Thanks,
and then that one is unreleased, right?
Yeah. So that's a private link, and you know I'll enable the download for the homies. But that's the kind of thing that I'll take and I'll email to like some of my like favorite like local artists that are kind of on that vibe. Right. But like I'm still like when I create something, trying to make it fit a sound except for like the kind of generic like minimal house like sound. Like kind of goes out the window because it's more important to finish the track than to like get the commercial sound. So I'm just trying to make my ideas sound as good as they can over time, and whatever slight flaws this might have, like I know the next one I'm gonna bust out when I get my creativity back, because I'm kind of like exhausted from producing right now.
Right.
Will probably be another step forward. So like I'm already super excited to see where that goes
so
too.
That's sick, and I'm happy to hear like someone be like, oh well, like I know my next one is going to be my favorite when it comes out. You know, because like, it's my next one.
Once
it's
that
my new
started
baby,
happening,
you know?
like it's hard to get off the production train, but. Man, when it comes to like learning curve and barrier to entry, like I know what that feels like to be on the other side and be like, because I remember when I was listening to electronic music for the first time around like age 21, which is like crazy, right? But just wondering like what the heck is going on to even make these like sounds, and then I'm glad that I got my lifestyle turned into. Works much better with sitting and producing and hanging out at the house instead of like being out and partying on the dance floor. So so I can still dabble in like the different areas of electronic music that I feel like, and that keeps me, you know, interested and not burning out throughout the year for sure. Yeah,
no, that's sick. I'm all pro fucking mental health and fucking keeping yourself like not just satisfied mentally but also physically if need be. Like if you need to take a break from just like going out all the time.
Yeah,
like,
just saying no.
Yes.
Yeah, I never put any pressure on anybody that says, you know, whatever reason or another they can't come out. Like even last year. Was kind of a big year for me, you know, bringing the Void rig around for some, you know, like additional private campouts. And, you know, I think I did it like 5 times over the last year. And by the end of it, which is usually what happens to me by the end of the summer, I can't think about doing one more show, one more event. So, you know, something has to give, but I've been cutting back on the booze, and that's been like a new source of energy for me. Like the things that I normally would know I'm overbooking myself with booze, like if I booked that same amount and didn't drink, it's not really a problem.
Right. Right.
So I've been kind of like retraining myself for that. And then like I was saying, each winter I go snowboarding all the time. I try to avoid taking gigs as much as I can, with maybe an exception here or there. And then by around February or March, I'm feeling like, all right, I want to send some emails and text some people and
get back out there. Hell
get some things going. Yeah.
No, that's fucking great. Cause after the pandemic, we went hard. We were doing like weekly or like bi-weekly shows and everything for a couple of months. And like, that's fucking, it gets tiring, and it sucks. It sucks going somewhere that you're supposed to be having fun and being like, damn, dude, my bed. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? And it's just like, it's you did all this work, you're there, all of your buds are there. And like, next thing you know, you're still just kind of like, all right.
How old are you?
I'm 26.
Right on. And I'm 35. And I think it's probably more associated with how long you've been like enjoying electronic music. Yeah. But I had to definitely make changes to continue my relationship with electronic music onward.
Yeah, my first rave was like maybe like 14, 15. Nice. It was for identity.
Yeah. Good. We're getting right into it off the bat.
Yeah, exactly. That's why like when people like, I don't know, the way that I talk about myself, I'm like, I'm just a child, like blah, 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 blah. But I'm like, dude, I've been doing this for 10 years. Seriously. Like going to like festivals and blah, 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 and like all this shit. And I'm like, God damn.
Yeah. Like, I mean, people in this space that seem like they're new, but like they're just gotten into it and they're like 33. So I'm like, okay, by the time you're like 45, you'll be feeling like me when I was like 29 or something.
Yeah. It's so weird, but it's so like, that's what I love about this scene is that there's so many opportunities for new people to come along and fall in love with it. Yeah. But also like the people who do fall in love with it, that becomes a community, and like that community, obviously there's different branches of all of it, but at the end of the day, it all falls under this like love for house.
Yeah. And that spirit, continues to get me back out there and do what I can to create spaces for people that are getting into it as hard as I originally did.
Right.
You couldn't even, talk to me back then. It's like literally just like, this is the coolest thing ever, and get away from me unless you're doing it too. So So if I like imagine that mindset, and when I'm spinning, especially, I'm just like, this feels like just like it did, the first times I was doing it, but now it's like the dance floors aren't so empty, and there's meaning behind it, and the new people that you develop connections with, and seeing how they feel about like their if they want to produce events and stuff, is like just continuing to just be super rewarding. And it's always great to meet other event producers and promoters, because I don't know what I can say about having that as a passion. Yeah. But that's the only way to do it.
It's so weird. It's like, honestly, like I used to, like I've thrown like my fair share of parties growing up, and like, blah, blah, blah. And like those were so much fun. So, and then like once I got the opportunity to like start throwing events, I was just like, okay, well, this is kind of the same thing, except for the fact that now I have to make sure I hit a quota.
Yeah. Well, I remember, it's Meraki, right?
Right.
So I remember like probably your maybe first show at like the beer pong bar, Score.
Yeah, we were at Score in Cosmo for the first time, and like shout out to Lex. She's she's mama bear of the shit. So no one think that it's me. It's all Lex. Shout out Lex.
I met Lex, and she helped us get hooked up with like a day party and like a night party there. I think that one of those events there was like my first show in the city ever.
Dude, that's the thing.
Like
that's the thing
Buddha,
that like I like. That's what the like. Honestly, like shout out to Lex once again. But like
holding that space.
Like she gave a lot of people like their first opportunities. Yeah. First set in the city, or like even Nina, her first set was at a Meraki event, and that's now awesome, she's at fucking Desert Hearts. She's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's crazy how fast things can happen.
Exactly. I mean, and it's but like that's what like kind of like I think of of those moments and I'm just like, nah, fuck it. Like we need to keep doing this shit for those moments, you know? Because like there's always going to be new people wanting to get into this scene, and it's hard, you know? It's hard, you know? So I would rather be a helping hand than like just being like, like we'll just think of our collective, you know?
But then once you find it, then there's no getting out.
Yeah, you're in it. You're in it. But no, it's fucking it's so sick. Like but it's a lot of work. So I understand why, like you know, nobody wants to do it. You know?
Very on occasion is the best way to do it for me. Are you looking into hosting any parties in San Jose this summer or anything?
I really am. I'm honestly like the things that I'm looking at in San Jose is that it's techno or it's Latin house, you know? So we're
That's
like
better than it was before.
True. Very, very true. It used to just be like bass music and that was it.
Yeah.
But like we're like a happy medium, you know?
Yeah.
So like I'm waiting.
Popping up. Yeah.
You know, I'm waiting to see like, okay, well, like, what can we do? Because I mean, for the most part, we can always just stay in San Francisco and we'll be fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we're looking at doing more like parties. Yeah. Not necessarily like we don't want to do a monthly thing.
No,
it's like we want to like make sure that the vibe is 1,000% there.
Definitely.
Before anything else. Yeah. So we're looking at like our best options for things. As like myself. That will always be attached with Meraki, but like I want to do like George.Daniel and then bring out the guests who have been on the podcast, and throw a show. So it'd be like, you know, one of those things like bringing the podcast to life type thing.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
So yeah, like that's what I want to do. And that one might be like every 2 months, you know?
Yeah, depending. Yeah, there seems to be some things going on. The Cats in Los Gatos. I don't know if you check that out.
I think like Crave Rave.
A couple people have been posting in the San Jose Techno and House group, and if you are throwing parties in San Jose, definitely always advertise in San Jose Techno and House. Been approving and approving real people and not approving bots for quite some time now. So I know that the Cats in Los Gatos has been teaming up with some of our local promoters to host some of our DJs. So even that, just getting local DJs anywhere in front of people spinning is better than nothing, right? So I think I have seen other additional things pop up. There might be a new spot or two in downtown San Jose.
Yeah, it's like across the street from the Ritz. Upstairs.
Yes. Okay, so
I've been there. Yeah. I've been there. Maya and his collective.
Right.
They do a lot of shows out there. They recently had a show in the Continental as well. That I was at. But yeah, it was like is
there an outdoor area there too, or is that
the upstairs one?
Yeah.
No, it's just the upstairs. But it's a fucking dope little spot, and like literally like. Yeah, like it's sick. It holds maybe like 250 plus, you know, maybe, you know.
That's perfect. I wonder if that's the Agenda Lounge or where the Agenda Lounge was. If it's not, it's next door.
Like it's. But all I know is that it's right across the street from the Ritz on the corner,
little area, like next to whatever that bigger club is or something. We do have a event coming up on Saturday, April 1st in San Jose. It's not an April Fool's joke, but Womp is back with Frank Nitty and Krishna, and they booked me to open up a Anjuna Beats party.
Oh shit!
So they're bringing in Sonny Lax, if you guys have heard of him. So Saturday, April 1st, downtown San Jose. If you're looking for something to do, this should be a pretty rockin' party. So got at least that coming up on the schedule, and we'll see what else goes on in San Jose this year. I haven't committed to like a Baylands Park party or anything yet. I've tried to do like a South Bay showcase.
Yeah, you did that like a year or two ago, right?
I did last year and then a year before. I think I might have had to pause it for pandemic reasons, perhaps. It's with everything else that's going on, it's hard to get the speakers out there, but maybe in the fall we'll kind of revisit that and see what's going on, because we have a good amount of things kind of already on the agenda for the summer. We have we have our camp out. The end of July, we have a handful of other campouts that I'm bringing my sound systems to. Right, that's been pretty awesome for me to kind of like network and meet people that are also doing super small, super boutique parties that need a void system pretty much just exactly my size. So that's been awesome. But yeah, we also have, in terms of club nights coming up, well, by the time this will be released, it'll probably have already happened. But on Friday, March 3rd, my crew, some of my crew that are involved with the My First Rodeo camp out, and actually Stephen Bates from down here too. Okay. We're all going to be opening up for Juliet Fox in the Public Works Loft. So we're going to be teaming up with Christian from Set Underground, which is a first time thing for us. So it's taken a long time to, kind of build those connections and kind of have the trust to take care of like an opening lineup in a event space like that. But luckily, once you got it under control, then it's pretty good to, it makes a lot of sense to hop into with a headliner that your crew is like a huge fan of, and then getting the people to come to the event is never a problem after that.
Right. So that's under the it's a journey.
That's not so much it's a journey anymore. Pending the what Hafid's looking into for it's a journey. We've had like little things, kind of little nibbles here and there, but I think we're all kind of experiencing some of the same thing, which is we still don't have the like exact venues we need to throw the types of events that we're like hoping for, especially with like our It's a Journey brand. Like we really wanted to be, like kind of the staple, like premier, promo team in San Jose, and keeping that together and the momentum, through the pandemic and over time has been specifically challenging. So, I don't know, maybe, we should chat with Hafid at some point and see what he's got planned for us in San Jose. And if something makes sense and he can do it, then he's gonna. But they have the Richie Houghton event. That is all It's a Journey, all Hafid and Ash and Pedram. D. Petty is going to be opening up for Richie Houghton for that Thursday show when they're in town. With Lindsay Herbert. So they have all of their sights set on making that party as awesome as possible. With
that's sick. Hell yeah.
Bay Area sound systems.
So how did you get it? Like the Public Works thing. Like because you're
actually So it was an It's a Journey party when we hosted Oscar L.
Okay. I think maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
We are kind of continuing to take part in that momentum because with Oscar L, we did a really good job getting people out for that show. It was It's a Journey sparked idea because Oscar L was one of our, favorite artists for quite a while. Right. So I think that night was like kind of, I think that night was like Hafid's birthday or something like that, and I love Oscar L, like all my friends do too. So I was doing more of the like actual running of that party for that one, and then it's really about nothing since then really seemed to make sense for us until like we just happened to catch that maybe the show was happening, and then we were just kind of like there at the right time, basically.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
But cool. Yeah, because like ideally, as like smaller promoter, or if you're, and this is all comparative, obviously, but smaller promoter, if you're just looking for space to like party with your friends, like, obviously nobody wants to drop a ton of money on like a headliner or booking like a venue or anything. Right. So it really comes down to like, having a good reputation, right? Having tons of like shows under your belt that have gone like without any problem, and then like making sure you have a solid 50 to 100 people ready to come out on a special occasion on lock. And those are really just all you need for the formula to be able to like collaborate with someone who's already, booking headliners, like whether it's the owner of the club or another promoter that's in there regularly. If from my perspective, if I have like spare DJ slots, right? Because I'm already giving all of my friends as many DJ slots as they can.
Right.
And somebody can come in and be responsible and just like take care of a part of like just filling a dance floor for a party, like then that obviously is gonna work out for me. But
Right.
You'd assume that people have gotten burned like giving people chances before, which is probably why they have like could possibly have barriers up. But every time we've gotten into one of our favorite clubs in the city, whether it was through Mioli or one of our own parties that we're hosting or just a birthday party, getting into like Monarch and Public Works, it's like it just really fits the mood of what my friends intend to kind of like do that night, is be at our favorite clubs, listening to our homies, and if we can swing a headliner that we're into, then we may be on our way to an after party.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean? Which is may or may not be happening all the time anymore. But yeah, so that keeps that's kind of like what we do in between while we're planning the bigger events. But I'm trying to always make sure that some of our all of our closest friends aren't getting like too burnt out or anything like that. And I think that helps keep people on the same page, and everyone kind of gets excited for all the same things.
Yeah, you have to like that's the thing that I've noticed when we were doing the bi-weekly stuff. Like, it's hard to miss something. You know, it's so much nicer when you allow yourself to recover, and also there's enough distance to be like, damn, that was a while ago. Let's do it again. You know?
Like, oh my god, yeah.
Like that feeling is super tight because then it feels like the first time over again. You know.
Yeah. That first party I did, of course, I was like, oh, I'm doing a monthly, and I think it lasted 3 times. It was our biggest one, the first one, a little bit less the second one, the worst turnout the third one.
Right.
So like
it's
that was my
hard.
first lesson as like a promoter. Was like, okay, like I mean that makes sense. I wouldn't want to do the same 3 things, like, and especially if not everyone around me is head over heels into like EDM on whatever sound system right now,
exactly.
There is. So that took me a while, but I think over time I've grown to, like I say, kind of be able to put myself in other people's shoes, and that helps with our schedule and with the way that we throw our parties and stuff like that. So
that's cool. I'm glad to hear that like you are like aware of these things. A lot of people are kind of like, I mean, I respect because someone needs to do it, I guess, but like, dude, like someone else will do it. You don't need to put yourself through the ringer just to put yourself through the ringer. Yeah. Sometimes it's best to like collect yourself a little bit and fucking plan for the best one, rather than the next one.
Yeah. Like, I'm usually.
Damn, that's a bar, dude. That's a fucking bar.
Baseball bat.
Oh shit. Oh, that's not what I was talking about. I was talking about like what I just said, but yes. Dude, hell yeah.
Cool,
wow,
man. Hey, you want to listen to this next track and spark this up?
Yeah, I'm down. Hell yeah.
Cool. Do you have broadcasting experience, or did you just go head first and podcast? Yeah. That's awesome.
It's been a learning.
That's
curve,
sweet, man. I mean, that's the only way to do it. I mean, I love just that feeling of thinking about where you were before and then like looking around and being like damn, like I can't believe these wires are all connected properly.
No, that's why like even just like the episode that we released today, like it was a trip to like actually reflect and like listen to it. Like reflect through it was like, oh shit.
Does that get awkward for you listening to your own voice over the recording?
Not really.
It's because you're probably like studying and learning and
I like podcasts. Like I really do like podcasts. So like it's just like it's me taking notes. It's like telling like a quarterback, like, do you like looking at yourself? And it's just like I have to, like how else am I gonna get it?
That's crazy. I mean, I listen to my mixtapes pretty often.
That's what I'm saying. You have to listen to your mixes. You have to, like you have to.
Yeah. So like kind of a self critique.
It's like if I ever walk into like a room and someone's talking about it, that's when it's gonna be weird. Like, you know, like that's when I'm just like, oh, like this is
too meta.
Yeah.
Something like that.
But yeah, lately, anytime I go to the club, people are like, oh, you're the podcaster. And I'm like, I'm Danny. I'm not just the fucking podcaster.
Dude, I mean, it's like so attention grabbing. Like everybody, I don't know, I feel like everybody wants to have their face saying like interesting things in the middle of people scrolling down.
I feel it.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even saying I have music out like live, it's like so hard to get that message across to the people that are my friends that are actually interested. Like I wouldn't even be bugging them by like, you know, asking them to listen. It's just like over time, it's like if you have like a little bit of time to send out some music, like you're going to look at maybe your Facebook list, your Instagram list, you're going to find like 10 people, they're going to listen, they're going to be like, it's awesome or whatever. But then it's like, okay, then you do that again. And it's like, this is not yielding like results. And by results, I just mean reaching new ears, I guess. I mean,
yeah, no, for sure. Because your friends aren't going to share it to their friends because their friends are your friends.
Exactly.
Like what the fuck are you doing?
Your
like,
crew's already your crew.
Yes. I feel that. You're just like talking into a void.
What's the trick? Like, what's the secret sauce to get you from like, and I think it's just making your own music. Hopefully I'll let you know how it goes. But what converts you from like that local DJ that's just like solid with a good crew into like, oh, this person is attractive to the next line of like agents or whatever, that because somebody's out there like handpicking some awesome DJs and they're getting little migrations like, you know, up to cooler and cooler and cooler things.
Right.
You know, if you're a good DJ, that's like, you know, kind of comes with the territory. But I also feel that like, as long as you're a solid DJ, you could probably go to like any country and throw down and it would still be like a unique experience, as long as like the party was promoted as like, you're awesome and here's some of your stuff, check this out, you know? But
yeah,
it doesn't make a lot of sense for people to like integrate on that level and bring in DJs from even other states, because it's like you already have all of your local DJs wanting these gigs anyway, you know? Yeah. But I think a lot of people, like, I think we could maybe see that happen in the future to like, you could expand our smaller local
honestly
scenes.
You have to like right now, like I'm gonna be completely honest, after the pandemic, the Bay Area got way too greedy.
Yeah,
everyone was just like, oh, like since the world had to stop and we can't fly people in because of the pandemic, blah 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 blah, we're just gonna feed our own like, or the same fucking DJs on the same fucking lineups. And it's just getting repetitive now, and then people are getting, that's why like I feel like the tech house scene, they died down in the Bay Area.
Yeah, like I think depending on the tech house that you listen to, and like if tech house was the only kind of electronic music you've been listening to, then it could be easy to think that like that world is not evolving over time. But
no, but that's what I mean. Like like the sound died,
right?
You know,
exactly,
and it's starting to become like harder. Like, you know, like, or more like, minimal.
Yeah, it's definitely, I'm not sure. Like, it could be like kind of splitting like the like purists, but I think honestly, for the most people, they don't care who the DJ is, as long as they're with their friends, the music's good and they're chatting. Like that's going to be your majority of the people that are willing to go.
Like I opened up for right?
Yeah.
Like, or a whatever his name is.
You guys got tight, huh?
Well, I mean, I was in the side room. I didn't open for him. I wouldn't say it. Yeah. I shouldn't have said that.
Where was this at?
10:15.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So like, I played midnight at the side room or upstairs, I guess.
Yeah.
And I want to go check him out. Mm-hmm. And like, it was the first time that I saw like a known DJ just have people like looking around like, should I be enjoying this? Like, what are other people doing? You know?
Yeah.
And it was weird. It was like maybe I was just like not faded enough, or like, I don't know.
I mean, like if you're gonna go around, he's a touring DJ.
He's like a C-list Fisher. we're not putting this out. We're smoking, so I don't give a fuck. You know, like that's what he is. You know,
you're really selling him. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is part of the Patreon or something.
Yeah. I mean, this is a yeah.
You gotta pay for that.
After dark.
yeah. No, for real though. Like I don't know.
Controversial opinion, Wayne. Just kidding. That's nothing. But
I mean, like that's just,
so.
like,
I think that's a common problem when DJs come in and have no idea where the fuck they're spinning.
right.
Like spinning at the upstairs at 10:15, and like first of all, it depends entirely on what the rest of that club's doing. But that's a challenging place. Like even if I've never spun there, right? But like I would. And since I haven't been there in a really long time, like I would, aside from just sticking to just generic house, if I was like a producer and I'm trying to play my own music for people and stuff like that, like that's not always going to land when like a room is expected to just have like chill bops for like people to like just get a break from like whatever's going on, you know? But that's also why I think it can be advantageous to have locals over a headliner. And that's why it's like, that's why I'm like, how do you get into that headliner spot? Like, and if it's just, I guess just making music.
You know what sucks also? Like, okay, we're from the Bay Area, so it's just like we're in one of the top 3 markets in music in the world.
That a fact?
in the United States. Okay, maybe top 5. It's Chicago.
It seems small here, I feel like. I mean,
for sure, but you're talking about like market and like dollar value. That's what I'm talking about now. It's just like dollar value. We are like it's New York, Miami, LA, us.
Well, okay, look at our clubs. Like, look at the clubs in like freaking Austin or whatever. Like, the amount of shows and sound, and like take Phoenix and like stuff, like maybe they have less like venues, but some of these places are equipped to handle like a mass metropolitan of areas, you know, including places way out on the freaking sticks in the desert where people drive to party, you know. So like based on the sound systems and in the clubs that are supporting ongoing electronic music related activities, I think we're lucky for what we have here. But I also think like it's nothing endless, you know, which I would feel like New York or like LA or in Europe, like even like just being not from there. Yeah. Like that seems like that could go on forever. But anyone that I think comes to like San Francisco and like knows their artists and stuff, you're going to be going to the same like 6 awesome clubs and hitting the new, things that are coming in.
Yeah, but I'm just saying
kind
like
of regularly.
But like those clubs are like renowned in the country, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, gotcha.
Even if you're just playing like Midway, you know, like you like if once like I feel like if you're a local talent and you hit all 6 of these clubs, being Midway, Audio, Halcyon, 1015, and Temple,
Monarch,
and Monarch, but even
or Great Northern.
Right, but I'm saying those 5, like on your EPK, say more than Monarch or even Public Works.
Yeah,
you know.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, like especially if you're trying to perform for like a sea of people and like, you know, get that glamour shot, like you're gonna have to spin at 10:15, right? Like Halcyon's great, but I mean I love Halcyon. You know, they just had me.
I love Halcyon.
They just had me out to open for Robag Rum.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Last month, right?
Yeah, it was the end of January. And that party was awesome. I mean, every party that I spin there is awesome. But that club is going to be the same size, you know, for a while. So for me, it's like, I'm not in that phase of my life where more or excess is necessarily giving me more value. And like, yes, I'd love to open at Midway sometime. Yeah. Midway, if you're hearing that, you know, for like a perfect artist that like maybe is going to take another 10 years to become like big enough to do that. But like, I'm, you know, in this for the long haul and I'm not moving anywhere, and just being patient and seeing what comes my way has always yielded me like much greater results than trying.
You like are smart and you're like, okay, well, like your outreach doesn't necessarily mean like these big clubs. It's like your Burning Man crew. It's the things that you do. That is your way in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that's the difference. You know, like I'm thinking of it more like commercial.
I got you.
But like you're doing it in a different way.
Yeah, it's grassroots.
For sure. But it's also like, I mean, more organic, you know?
It is. I mean,
like
that's why I'm kind of like, also kind of like protective of who's getting in the loop with like our, either like text chains and stuff like that. Like the original source of all this fun was like the immediate crew of homies, and we're totally open and down to like, keep expanding and hanging out and, and inviting like special people and, continuing to just like to just do whatever we want and, have a good time. And maybe eventually in like 25 years, we will be a crew big enough to like get in there. 'Cause like, that's how these like Burning Man events, which are some of the biggest, I'd say, grassroots events in the entire city, like those are filling up spaces like Midway and like Block Party, and the Great Northern can get, filled up anytime. And even like a takeover of 1015 is not out of this world, like if enough like kind of crews work together. But I would just like,
dude, you hit it on the head with that one. If enough crews work together, like dude,
but
I
like
think about that all the time.
I
just think about that all the time. If people just joined forces for like 3 parties a year,
and that happens. I mean, look at
for sure, but
look at outer, or that's been happening. So there's an opportunity here, just like you're saying, to to just stick around and have stuff like that develop. But you got to like kind of think of it as, there's a lot of people that are putting like all of their artistic creativity into what they've been doing up until they've met each other.
Right.
And this is kind of what's happening like to me a little bit now. So my old roommate, good friend, Sasha, he's been my kind of partner throwing the camp out the last couple times, but we've been teaming up with other crews outside of our camp out in the city that are also hosting campouts, right? Yeah. So we're kind of organically finding people that are in like a similar position as us, and due to our synergies, we're able to like not have to sacrifice so much to get like our vision off the ground together. So so that was my first Snowdio event that happened at the end of January, and that's another thing we're super proud of. We started planning it in like the end of December. We did a walkthrough at Monarch Gardens, took a look at the space, which is like the
I think that's where we're gonna do our first day party.
Then you got to get in there as soon as possible, because that place is popping. And if you ask nicely, maybe I'll do sound for you.
dude, yeah, because like, dude, like that. We really want to do a day party there.
It's awesome,
and it looks sick. We're in.
It's like the old like Soma Eats like food park.
It used to be District 9.
6.
District 9 is a movie.
That was a pretty wild one. I think I saw that one in theaters.
That movie's fucking sick. Fuck.
So my first Snowdio was another one of our like collective biggest successes lately, because that like my crew loves partying like kind of during the day. So Monarch Gardens hosted us, so thanks Monarch Gardens for letting us come in. And this party was a fusion between me and Sasha and the rest of my Burning Man crews camp out, my first rodeo, and the Need a Minute crew led by Chill Bill. Their party is called Polar Palooza.
Okay.
Right. So together we're
The
my
names,
first,
right?
Yeah.
What could they mean?
Probably cold over there, man.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you some stories. But yeah, so I did sound for the Need a Minute Cruise event, Polar Palooza, and they're like, polar bear themed, and they're wild and crazy and awesome and do lots of theatrics, and they came to our camp out first to check it out and support each other. So then I started doing sound for their events, and when we were there last year, we figured if we were ever going to team up and collaborate and do something, Sasha said it would be called My First Snowdio. So that was in our minds for maybe like 6 months, and then we kind of jumped on this Monarch Gardens opportunity when we saw what was going on again through Facebook. You kind of gotta see what's happening new and fresh and stuff.
Yeah.
So that party, I think, had almost 300 people come out to it. It was a combination of the Polar Palooza DJs and our My First Rodeo DJs, and man, it was a wild time. There was like snowball fights, like ice luges. They had like a freaking parachute come out over the dance floor, like while like I got up and was playing like that track Good Times.
Yeah.
So it was pretty elevated.
Yeah.
We got some good props from some other crews in the city that that like to party too. But basically we've been invited back out to do that again. And the date we have, which I can definitely announce now, is Saturday, June 3rd. So the Snowdio is getting hot in the summer.
Jeez. Okay.
So
that's dope.
so mark that down. You got to come join us and see what's up.
Hell yeah. All right. So let's check out this track real quick.
Yeah.
You down?
Yeah, definitely. So this is a little snippet of something that I have that is signed and is going to be released on a local Bay Area label called Deep Minimal Tech Records. That's led by Freddie and Scott Brio, who, I can't say enough good things about those two. But this is called I Can't Help It, a little groover that I put together. So here's a little clip.
Yeah, I was about to say. What's the vocal on this?
This was just like something I just kind of luckily heard right off the bat in this this VSD is called Loop Cloud. And basically you can audition all these like online samples before you even have to buy them, and it'll sync up with your project.
Oh, okay.
So you pick like 5 samples of drums, like your main ones off the bat, and then you plug in just like audition like just any sample pack with like all these using tags and everything, and you already have like a straight up groove like right off the bat. Like it's the easiest thing in the world to get it like an idea started.
Yeah. Damn. Again, if you're the homie, hit him up.
Yeah, well, this one you may have to wait and buy hopefully in March, because definitely support
Yeah,
support your local labels.
Hell hell yeah. So this one's
yeah.
gonna be out on DMT.
Yep.
And yeah, they're fucking yeah. I think I've met what's his name, Brios, right?
Scott Brio.
Scott.
Yeah, he works over at Halcyon. So
I think I met him once, but just like in passing, you know. But yeah,
he does the mastering over there, and he's got like a studio full of awesome hardware and does cool like TikTok and Instagram videos and stuff. So yeah, it's great to be working with them. Basically, I wanted to try to contribute to all of the local labels that I know of,
right?
Or you know, and try to get people help starting off the ground. But yeah, I wanted to shout out Alex Vasquez with the More on the Floor label. They do an awesome. It's a podcast, I think, too, and his taste in music is. It's like right in the pocket, but also like, you know, super unique too. So
right.
Releasing on their label early on, I figured this might be like one of the only chances I could for a while, you know, because they're gonna be
and
hot as hell.
Just I mean, yeah, Alex is fucking he's something special for sure.
Creative mastermind for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And he what I love about him is that like he doesn't need any of it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's just like happy to do, like, you know, you just like, he's fucking sick. He's one of the few ones where I'm just like, dude, you're doing this just out of like love. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. Love you, Alex.
Yeah. But, dude, no, that's fucking sick. That's awesome. And then, so like, what are your plans for more, like, after this is released? Are you gonna like start trying to release even more? Or like, what is the goal?
So like, basically when I'm stoked on an idea, like my default like next move is like send it to somebody that I admire and see if they give me good feedback. That's getting a little old because I already know if my song's like good or not. Right. So I think I'm just got to go back to making like 10 more songs or something. But I am diving deeply into like choosing specific sounds that fill up the spectrum in a professional way, which I think is like the final like difference. I need to take my tracks that and I'm also mastering them myself before they get released too, which is not that great probably, but
I mean,
so I'm trying to get my tracks mastered by good people and released on labels who are already doing the hard work of doing the distribution, and I'm just gonna kind of build up my Spotify library just to share out my cool ideas and just organically grow. And I don't know what that'll eventually lead to, but I just plan on doing that for a long time.
Yeah.
But I would dream, like I have dream labels to release on, but I think I'd have to really focus on sounding like them and not myself to get close to that. But I think I could maybe, you know, start up like a mentorship or something with somebody that's like kind of well known and who can give me that final, like, here's what you're finally missing. You know, that's occurred to me. But like the most important thing is, as long as I'm, you know, farting out a track once every like 3 months or something that I'm proud of, then like that's all I really care about in the long run, for sure.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like I feel like with my producer friends, their whole thing is just like perfection. Yeah, because you're hearing it over and over and over and over and over again, to the point where like you're hearing it in your sleep and blah blah blah. But it's just like, dude, you just gotta like. Just put it out.
Cut the cord.
Just put it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then, like, if not, remaster it next year. And you know what? Like, that is in itself is a new song.
I think a lot of producers are going to get frustrated when they start to make good stuff and it doesn't sound like the labels that they want to release on, because, like, that means you're not going to get big through that label, obviously. Because, like, look who's getting big through other people's labels. Like, they're doing the same thing, but with an awesome fresh new take. So
I don't know. I have mixed emotions about just like someone is willing to listen to it. You know it's good. The market is there.
Right. Potentially.
Who gives a fuck about the label?
Well, you need
know
to
what I mean?
still like release it into the world in a way that's not just you and your friends once again, right?
For sure.
So you need to impress the person in charge of releasing on the label. And if that label is even something, you know, like
this is
Dirty Bird or Desert Heart,
Right,
like you have to be, you know, as good or better than all of our favorite Dirty Bird and Desert Heart
Right.
artists,
Well,
which can be a hard thing to attain.
This is like, I guess I think about this a lot, right? Sometimes like it's the amount of already backing that you have that puts you in these labels, you know? So if you had a bigger like,
You still have to have a matching sound, but I guess you could buy that if you really
for
wanted
sure.
to.
No, but like that's why like I know so many fucking producers who are fucking so good.
Yeah,
but
what do they
don't know.
sound like? Is it like the same stuff, or is it like future, like things you never heard before?
It's shit that you've never heard before, but like it fits. You know what I mean?
Cool. So they
it's
need
just like,
more attention.
It's just like they just don't know how to do it. You know what I mean?
get the attention, drawn.
Right.
So yeah, because like
And like
'cause
that
you
that
can't-
part is hard.
Exactly, because you can't utilize an existing label if you're making music that doesn't sound like that label.
sure.
So that's why you need to find labels that are cool with releasing all sorts of stuff as long as it's good.
Right.
And they'll at least get to the point where your music's on the internet, you're on your Spotify, your SoundCloud all at once, and they'll freaking pay you a little bit too.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
so if you're a producer that's making good music and maybe you don't have the right environment to share it with people, I would just, you know, I'm surprised I even know people that own labels. Like, you know,
Right.
and like Mioli, that's a great label too, you know,
Right.
but I would say
They're fucking awesome.
yeah,
honestly.
I
Yeah,
would say
they're
if
sick.
you want to get your music out, start a SoundCloud playlist that's private that puts all of your awesome new ideas that are either barely finished or completely finished, and
Right.
make that your promo list. And then whenever you have something, a new idea that you want to send to people through whatever other means of communication, you send them the link to that playlist. Then they can play your new idea and then every like older idea in a row. Yeah. So if you're looking for just like immediate gratification or like confirmation that you're on the right track, I would suggest doing that. But if you want to release into the world yourself, you're going to have to look at like DistroKid, but it'd be way better to collaborate with the label that's already doing that, already has like a marketing plan, maybe a graphic design and master. But I wouldn't say it's worth sacrificing your ultimate creativity to get you wherever you wanted to go, that like a label's gonna like help you get recognized. Because like is everyone really trying to become a touring DJ? Like that's because like I definitely wouldn't have said no. I still wouldn't say no to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't want to really
dude, that's such
my
an
life.
interesting conversation to have because dude, I'm just like sometimes like I mean obviously like I get the end goal of it is just to survive by doing the things that we like.
Yes.
And that's what the end goal is.
Yeah.
But sometimes like that end goal for some people is like touring. Some people is just like, dude, I just want to be like Lenny Kaiser, right? For instance, he's a fucking master at what he does. And like in my
Ableton
eyes,
certified trainer too.
exactly. So like he went that route, you know, where he's like
Every jack of all trades, yeah.
you know what I
he
mean?
wanted
And
to
then
make a
there's-
living,
and then
through
someone in
music,
that same label, like a Artiland, right? He's taking I'm gonna play at these festivals. My name now is gonna be detached somewhat from Dirty Bird, which is cool.
You can
know,
dip
like,
into whichever bucket of
right,
you know,
but like
self-employment funding, I guess, that you need at the time.
because even with Lenny Kaiser, like he teamed up with Christian Martin, for Trippy Ass Technologies.
Yep.
Right.
Christian Martin.
So like that marriage was so fucking needed. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
absolutely.
Like that was so fucking sick when they did that.
Yeah.
But like they like made their own lane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously
Yeah, it's
they're
hard to do
fucking
it all.
accomplished. You know, they're fucking so accomplished, and like people are gonna follow them regardless of what they do.
Yeah.
Myself included. But like I see what you mean by like if you're new,
You're
just-
thirsty.
you-
You're a
you need
thirsty
it.
DJ, and you
need
love
a-
it, and
yeah.
you want every set, and you want the best time slot, and you want the dance floor to be packed. And
yeah.
I mean, I still get that feeling of that want, you know, sometimes, but like, yeah, I think for me that kind of like need subsided with kind of all these other things I've been balancing. But I still understand the want and drive and need to like want to develop your confidence in your own sound in more and more dance floors. So I'm always happy to put a thirsty DJ in a great slot and watch them kill it for the first time and be like, good job, like you did great, you know. Like,
no, that's
love that.
But that's fucking sick. I'm glad to hear that like you have a release coming out or already been out. But fucking outside of that, like what else do you have going on? Like,
oh yeah. So I'm really into rock climbing right now. That helped me stay balanced, like you were saying. So when I'm not working or producing or hanging out with my wife and my cats at home, I just got lucky enough to fall back into rock climbing about 18 months ago through, once again, Sasha, who got me back hooked on it. So needed some way to like get back doing something after the pandemic and started bouldering for about a year and then kicked the passion off. And I was like,
so you're doing like real like rocks.
I'm out here like climbing indoors.
Oh, okay.
However,
okay. I was like, oh shit, this was fucking out here.
Yeah, why you got some boulders around, dude?
I was like, what the fuck?
I'll crimp on your door frame right there. I'll do some hanging workouts. Funny. Yeah, no. So the goal and like part of this again, this like long term hobby is I spent about a year getting kind of into shape bouldering, then started top roping a lot, which is where the rope goes through the anchor. You have someone else belaying you, and you're basically, you're safe at all times climbing up the rock and coming back down.
Right.
But then once you develop yourself a little bit more, you can get certified to lead climb, which is where the rope is starting on the ground. Your belayer is paying out slack as you climb up the route, and you have to clip into the quick draws as you go up. So if you fall, like 5 feet above a quick draw because you can't hang, you're gonna fall a distance of 10 feet from that spot,
right? To the next one.
And that's not even taking into account the slack in the rope, right? So I took a pretty big whipper today.
Wait, so how high are you up in the air?
Well, so like the routes are.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Even if you're like 8 feet up in the air and you're falling 5 feet, or it's still fucking terrifying.
The first 3 quick draws are when your belayer has to keep your rope super tight, but then as you go up, you want to give them a little more slack because if they do fall, you want to give them a softer catch. So it's a lot of like give and take basically, but it's
you don't want to like Spider-Man them and like break their back legs.
Yeah, you don't want them to fall off and then come to like,
right.
And immediate stop.
Anyone? Spider-Man 3, right?
I don't know why I was just.
That sounds like Mission Impossible 1.
Nah, never mind.
Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah,
maybe that's what it was referencing.
Yeah.
Go check it out, you guys. Mission Impossible.
But yeah, fucking. Outside of that, man, I think it's a good little spot. We heard some new music. I'm glad to hear that you are like back in it.
I'm doing stuff.
Yeah. Dude, I'm excited to see what else you guys got, and to hear all the new stories when we link up again.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, I'd love to come back.
Outside of that, where can the people find you? What do you want them to know?
So yeah, you can just type Zmoda into Google, Zmoda, and then all my Spotify, SoundCloud will be right there at the top. But I'd love if you checked out my Spotify or my SoundCloud, and especially Spotify once in a while. But it's more important just to like check in when I got like new stuff coming out, because that really showcases like what I've been developing and working on. But I am starting a little bit of like a text message list to like send out promo things about my music like specifically. So trying to keep like a close circle of stuff, because that's like the only way I know how. And then eventually I'm assuming I'll get a track out that's like pretty dope and maybe it'll get some attention, but I'm not gonna like quit my job or anything when you know, I'm still kind of keeping it nice and stable and you know, just having fun on the side. But yeah, check my music out on Spotify. Add me to some of your like playlists and stuff. That probably helps get my music out there to more listeners too. And yeah, I think it's pretty easy to get to me on Instagram too. But thanks for all the love and the support over the years, because I've been posting stuff on SoundCloud since like definitely 2009 for sure. So,
Yeah. Damn. Hell yeah. Well, you guys can find me at George.Daniel or George.Daniel _ on Instagram. You can catch Meraki at Meraki.BayArea. You can follow the sister Meraki at MerakiSac.events. And yeah, outside of that, fucking follow everyone. We love and thank you for supporting. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It helps us more than you think. But yeah, outside of that, peace.
Peace.